Today we're talking to Roger Bryan and how he took a small business up to $110 million in just 7 years through search engine optimization and some different systems. Roger is the kind of person you call when you have in your business income of around 6 digits and you want to take it to the next level, 7 digits and forward. So I think you're going to enjoy this episode. We also talk about entrepreneurship and when to pull the plug on those projects you really love, or maybe the company you have been working for so many years. You can find more about Roger at rcbryan.com. I'll put some links in the notes.
Welcome to Financially Free Podcast with your host, Nay Torres. One of the reasons Nay could retire when he was 25 years old is because he was coached by the best. And now through this podcast, so can you.
Roger Bryan. Roger, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
I appreciate you having the time to talk today. Tell us a little bit about you, because we're going to do 3 episodes with you. And the first one is about digital marketing and entrepreneurship. Can you tell me a little bit about your career in digital?
I sold my first website in 1997, and then I started doing online marketing around 2001, primarily for auto auctions and nonprofits that do car donation programs. I started as an employee at a company, not necessarily assigned to do those tasks, but doing them as part of my sales efforts. That turned into starting my own company in 2005 called National Charity Services, which was a marketing agency that primarily did car donation marketing for Goodwill, Red Cross, and the Salvation Army. Most people don't know that the car donation industry is a $1 billion a year industry. We had a lot of great success there. That company over 7 years did $110 million in car donations. Made Inc. magazine's fastest growing companies 3 years in a row, and I sold that company in 2012. I started my current company in 2013, which has had a couple different versions of it. I'm an SEO professional by trade, so I primarily do search engine optimization, and I had gone through the process of starting a software company in the SEO space that was a spectacular failure. It cost me a little over $1 million in about 5 years. So now I work as an SEO consultant. I typically work with large corporations that have multiple locations. So like a healthcare organization that has a chain of 23 hospitals or 100 urgent cares. And I work with their on-site teams to help train them, to make sure that they are capable of implementing strategy. And then we provide a lot of technical capabilities to those organizations through development and data management in order to help them be successful.
Okay, so for everybody listening, can we talk about entrepreneurship, specifically on what you just mentioned? For those people listening right now, SEO, search engine optimization, is basically how you put words or keywords in your webpage so you are the first person to pop up when people are looking at it. Will you say that's accurate?
That's about 10% of it.
Okay, let's hear it.
Yeah, now on-site content plays a big role. We really find that there's 4 elements to being successful at search engine optimization, and all 4 of them are tied together with proper data management so you know which area to be addressing. On-site is a big part of it. Off-site, which are your links, and I'm not talking about driving massive amounts of spammy links, but high quality authority links from the right press syndication spots, the other websites in your industry, your .edus, your .govs and things like that, your Wikipedia pages. I'm being very, very generic. So if you're an SEO professional and you're listening to this, I'm not going to go into a 20-hour diatribe on exactly how to do link building, but I could, if you wanted to hit me up, I'm happy to chat. The next part about it is technical. So this is your mobile optimization. This is proper site schema, proper sitemap structuring, page load times, proper text font, all of those different things from an engagement point. And the 4th is what we call signals. So that is how people are interacting with your website. And if they're interacting with your website, either via search, social, referral, all of the different ways that people can get to your website to show Google that you actually have a website that people want to read. And when you manage all 4 of those correctly, then you have success. You skip any one of those 4s and you fail.
Why is the SEO a good investment, or when is a good investment?
It's one of the few digital marketing investments that pay long-term dividends on previous work. For example, if you run a Facebook campaign, you get your instant gratification of your leads and your conversion, which is great, and do it. I mean, we're running Facebook, we're running AdWords, we're running Bing, we're running ad roll. I'm never saying that any of the other things are bad. I'm saying that all of them together are a proper package. But when you do SEO properly, you get traffic today and it increases over time the longer that you do it. When you run a Facebook campaign, when you stop, that lead flow stops, the revenue stops. So SEO is the one digital marketing strategy that pays dividends over time and allows you to continue to grow your business and scale your business when done properly.
Okay, if you had to decide you're starting today your company, wherever that is, what will be the step?
It's hard. I always tell people to start out with the technical side because it's not expensive. It doesn't take long. For a couple hundred, if you have a larger site, a couple $1,000s, you can get your site set up correctly in 30 days. And then after that, really work on your on-site content. Put good quality content with 2,000 word articles that have good infographics that are 100% unique. Don't create content, tell your story. People want to read a story. They don't want to read a Wikipedia page on your website. If they wanted to read a Wikipedia page, they'd go to fucking Wikipedia. So create good content and then share that content. Share it on social media. Use tools that allow you to syndicate it out to more people. By sharing it, if people engage with it and show Google that they like it, Google's going to want to show it to more people. Then you can get into the link building and more aggressive search signal type strategies. But if you have a good, technically sound website, you create good content and you share it and people want to read it, you usually have a success.
Any examples that come up to you?
I love Neil. Yeah, I love Neil Patel from a content strategy and a technical perspective. Some people love him, some people hate him. He's a business genius. I've talked to him on the phone many, many times. One of the smartest guys in the world, not just at marketing. The thing is that he gets it from a customer engagement standpoint. He gets it from an entrepreneurship standpoint. He gets it from a revenue generation standpoint. And then he gets it from an SEO standpoint. It's a very rare breed that you see all of those pieces come together so successful.
Mm-hmm. And you started a company called Infusion. Can you tell me a little more about it? Because I think the concept is genius.
Well, when we started it, the idea was that we were going to create a software platform that self-optimizes people's local marketing campaign, which is a little bit more than just SEO. We spent, it's 2000, so it's a 7-year-old company. We spent 5 years working on that project. 3 of those years we worked with Microsoft and received funding from them to develop the project. It didn't work. Then the primary reason was we had technology problems the entire way. I just made bad decisions. I tried to do too much once, the technology platform. We now use that technology internally. That's how we started using it. I tried building software platform that people could use on their own, primarily healthcare organizations. And it never really got to where it was supposed to go in my mind. And I know all the mistakes I made. And it's about 8 months ago, we completely pulled the plug and took away client access to the tool. And we just use it internally now. So I've started's the wrong word. We've always done our local marketing as the backbone of our revenue generation for our agency. And I've started to focus just back on that again and let the software go.
Mm-hmm.
And those are the tough decisions you have to make as an entrepreneur sometimes. Not everything you do works. And the sooner you realize it, the better off you are.
I agree 1,000%. And I was going to ask you, when did you decide to do that? And before you answer that question, I want to make a clarification to people listening. Just notice how Roger takes accountability and responsibility 100%, even though I know you had a team of people there. And, it's not like you made the mistakes. Everybody made a mistake. But when you speak, you can clearly hear that he says, I made this mistake. I made that mistake. But he's then changing to talking about his team. So that's something really important to look into an entrepreneur. But yeah, tell me, Roger, when did you decide to say, well, this is it?
Yeah, I think it was May or June of last year when 6 months before we had started to slow down our development because we were just burning through cash so fast. I had sold my previous 2 companies, so I had a good amount of cash. We had invested all of our profit back into the tool, and then I had burned through all of my cash and was starting to go in debt and just could not see the light at the end of the tunnel anymore. And when I looked at the numbers, I knew that if we stopped development completely on the software, we could get back to profitability. And if we actually shut the software down and switched everyone back to just straight services, we could increase our margins. And in 2019, my margins were about 56% net take home in my pocket. And that's even though that we didn't make that decision until halfway through the year. So it was definitely the right decision. I wish I would have made it sooner, but again, everything in hindsight is easy to define. But you have to, as an entrepreneur, always be focused in on profitability. It's good to do the moonshots. And I spent 5 years on it and I loved every moment of working on it. And it was gut wrenching to stop, but you've got to put net money in the bank. You have to have money to invest. You have to have money to pay bills. You have families and things like that. So the decision had to be made.
Yeah. What will you do differently if you started again?
Well, I probably will never go into software again unless I had a partner that specializes in. Yeah. I mean, it's not my thing. I mean, I know I have a skill. I don't know where I read this recently. I don't remember who said it, but it's hard enough to master one skill in your lifetime. So those that go out and try to master 2, 3, or those that are even worse, that have shiny object syndrome and try 20 different things, you're destined to fail. If you're lucky enough to know one thing that you're really, really good at, just stay focused in on it. And for me, it's always been search engine optimization, primarily multi-location, local search engine optimization. And I never struggle when I do just that. I mean, it's easy for me. My team knows how to do it. We have the systems and procedures that I've used since 2008. There's plenty of clients out there in the space. When I stick to it, I make money and I have a good life.
So I'm a small business owner, right? Who should I call? What webpage should I visit if I want to rank locally? Because one thing is to rank locally, that's doable, right? Another thing is to rank when somebody looks for Coca-Cola. That's completely crazy.
Yeah, I mean, the difference is between, there's an element of branding to it. So one of the first things that we do with large organization is we examine where they are from a brand positioning perspective. Google is not going to rank your site keyword if it doesn't rank for your brand. And that's just a given, especially in local. And most SEO professionals will argue till they're red in the face that you don't need to do that. And 80% of the time you do, 20% of the time you can be proven wrong. But we found that if the brand ranks well, the keywords are much, much easier because Google sees you as a source of truth in your industry. The best place to start is I have a blog, rcbryan.com, that has hundreds of articles on different SEO strategies that we've done over the years. I think my first post on that site was 2007, 2008. You can read through them. Give me a little bit of leeway. We just merged our Infusion website with my personal blog. It's not the prettiest thing right now, and we're just trying to revamp it, but it'll definitely give you some good resources. Always go look at Neil Patel's blog. He's great, especially the videos that he puts out about how to do SEO without spending any money. So if you have no money, but you have time, he's a great resource. If you have no time and you have money, come to me. I can help you get it.
Excellent. What is that? How big do I have to?
It's not necessarily an idea of size. We work with some 6-figure mom and pop businesses, but most of them will take from the 6-figure to 7-figure range pretty quickly. It's not that hard to do if you've got a good product, and we'll always make the decision of whether or not we're going to work with you based on whether or not you have a product. Can't help prove market demand. You need to have an in-demand product that you just need to be put in front of. For example, like we work with a lot of local contracts, HVAC, septic, roofing, things that people just need. And all you have to do is be out there in order to get the business. We work a lot with healthcare, which right now is absolutely crazy, especially in the telehealth. And then we work with some majorly branded nonprofit. You can't work with a nonprofit that no one's ever heard of, but you have a good brand and you want to turn that brand into revenue and help with that.
Well, thank you very much.
Did you learn something today? How can you apply your insights? What's next for you? The fastest way to make things happen is to just share this podcast episode with more people that may find it valuable too. Talk about it with them and surround yourself with like-minded people. Hope you found this valuable. Don't forget to subscribe. See you next time.
This podcast references opinions and is for information purposes only, not intended to be investment advice. Seek a duly licensed professional for investment advice.